hypocrite or being hypocritical. There's another company out there that every time they get a chance to bash us, they do, which is literally daily, multiple times daily, and it's whatever. At this point, it's more of a laughing matter than anything else, because anyone with half a brain can see through the crap. Now, this reminds me of politics, and I'm not going to say left, right, Biden, Trump, Obama, Clinton, whatever. We're not going to go that way. We're just going to use the word politics here, okay? Now, in politics, your president can do something, okay? You know what? Let's use an example here, okay? President Trump had a bunch of sexual abuse allegations against him over the years, whether it was rape or touching or grabbing him by the crotch, okay? The people that supported him were like, look, man, you should be able to talk however you want to talk, and those claims are crap, okay? Biden comes along, and you get all these weird pictures of him sniffing people or whatever else, right? But no actual proof of anything, just like it is the other way around. And the whole world ended for one side, and it worked that way for the other side. So people that supported Biden didn't care that he was a child sniffer. And people that supported Trump didn't care that he said things that made it seem like he was belittling women. Whatever. I don't care who people support. You support whoever you want to support, okay? I got an American flag on my hat. I have an American flag on my shirt. I support America. That's all people need to know about my opinion, okay? Now, it goes like this with the eco-diesels, okay? If I post a video of a customer's truck rolling coal, the competitors will tell you that your truck should not roll coal. That is dirty. That is wrong. There's too much soot. You need to get your truck retuned. Blah, 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 right? Because this happened yesterday, okay? A couple months ago, a customer went to the competitor first and wanted to roll coal. And the competitor said, yeah, all of our tunes roll coal, and your truck should roll super hard on the tune we put on your truck, right? Well, it didn't. It didn't roll at all, okay? And during this, they stole one of my tunes and put it on this person's truck, and it still didn't roll coal. So they're like, oh, we even put Randy's tune on your truck, and it didn't roll coal. The problem is your truck, right? But yesterday, they were commenting saying their tunes do not roll coal and shouldn't roll coal. Today, customer posts a video. He's like, hey, I got my truck done. Posts a bunch of videos. His truck is blowing stupid black in all of them. This is called being a hypocrite. Being a hypocrite because I don't even need to explain why. Everyone that's listens to this knows that that's called being a hypocrite, okay? The same company says, never delete the shutter valves. The shutter valves are how we build torque, rah, 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 rah. You go to the competitor's vendor's website, and it says right in the tuning listing, hey, we shut off the shutter valves on all of our tunes. So, pay attention to things, okay? I'm not saying buy my tuning. Pay attention to things, okay? That's all you gotta do. If you pay attention to things, you will see how much bullshit comes from other people. And I'll put it this way, you don't even have to buy my tuning. You can go ahead and buy SFT's tuning. And here's the best part. I have told everyone this, including SFT, that if you buy SFT's tuning and you have issues with it, if someone sends me the file, I will repair the problem and send it back to SFT so that way your problem is fixed. That way, I'm helping you for free. I'm helping out a competitor, and you get unproblematic tuning just like you deserve, and I don't get anything out of it other than the fact that I helped a fellow American company make their product better, which makes their customers happy. And making their customers happy, making their customers happy, making the community happy. I support the community. I have even commented on stuff from other competitors, like the one that causes all the issues, explaining to their customers how to fix whatever issue they're going through, because guess what? In order to get a hold of them, you have to email them your problem. My customers have my cell phone number, and if you don't have my cell phone number, you need it, message me and I will give you my cell phone number. I do not take phone calls rarely because I am one person and I am busy, and usually when people have issues with anything, regardless of whether it's tuning or not, it's usually after hours. So if you have my number, please text me. If it is an emergency, go ahead and text me and tell me it's an emergency, and I will do whatever I can to make sure that you get taken care of. And that's why we have some of the best customer service, okay? And there's another hypocrite point. I continue to see that this competitor, people keep saying this competitor has the best customer service, and then I keep getting screenshots from people of them being threatened to be sued, them being told not to post on Facebook and to email them their issue, and they will get back to you at their earliest convenience, which is not completely wrong because they are a company and you are paying them for their service, right? So they should work on their time. Now, with that being said, that's not how the real world works. The real world works as issues come up, people have problems, and someone should be there all the time to solve them, like a technical support line. So I will eventually be hiring someone that their job is fully customer service and technical support help to make sure that around the clock people have the ability to get any issues whatsoever resolved. And this includes issues that have nothing to do with tuning. There is tons of customers that we continue to help with problems that they have with their trucks that are non-tuning related, that do take up a ton of our time, but we still help them because it makes the community better, and they will always support our product because not only do we sell them a good quality product, we were also there to help them in their time of need instead of them having to ask a Facebook group and get completely bashed because they don't know things about their truck. If they knew everything about working on their own truck, they wouldn't need to hire companies to do it for them. Do you not see how that works? Because I see how that works, okay? Last of all, something that I saw. We use the Lambda sensor. This sensor is also known as the smoke sensor, smoke control sensor, fuel sensor, whatever you want to call it. It is an oxygen sensor that measures lambda. Lambda is the, I don't want to use the word British because I don't think it's British, but let's just say lambda is like the metric version, okay, of an air-fuel ratio, okay? Now, this sensor reads the air-fuel ratio, okay? And it has its own lambda table, which controls the air-fuel ratio or controls the smoke. We use this table to make sure that you do not have excessive amounts of smoke in places that it is not necessary, okay? Our competitor does not use this sensor. They shut it off in their tuning, and they made a comment that they control the fuel through speed density tuning. I want to break it down for everyone. Speed density tuning is a vehicle that does not have a mass airflow sensor, and it uses the manifold absolute pressure sensor to measure atmospheric pressure and determine the air-fuel ratio of the engine based on map pressure and oxygen sensor readings. If you shut off the oxygen sensor, the speed density map cannot adjust itself for situations. Okay? Which means if you drive to a different temperature, a different climate, a different altitude, it's not going to run properly. That's why there's special tables for that, okay? With that being said, an EcoDiesel does not have speed density tuning. The EcoDiesel uses one mass airflow sensor to measure the air coming into the motor, which is what it uses to help control fuel. 2, it uses a lambda sensor to prevent smoke, which means it measures the air-fuel ratio within reason to determine if it is running too rich to pull fuel. Okay? The last table it uses, now this is where the competitor is going to try and call a speed density table, which it is not. The last table is a volumetric efficiency table and volumetric efficiency correction tables. We can go into these tables, set the volumetric efficiency of the motor, okay, which is what we normally do on a speed density. The speed density map is manifold pressure, RPM, and then we go into each box and we have a percentage of volumetric efficiency, okay? But you need the sensors in order to properly adjust, like an oxygen sensor, okay? You get where I'm going with this, okay? Now, the VE table, we go through and we make a few adjustments. My adjustments are all made in the cruising areas and the wide throttle areas. That way it makes the fuel mileage gauge more accurate, okay? That is the only thing that I use it for. God, where else is I going with this? And then they got volumetric correction maps, which are based on altitude and things like that, where you can increase or decrease the multiplier. So don't get me wrong, somebody could go through and tune all those tables and get the trucks probably running pretty close. But here's the thing at the end of the day. In order for it to be speed density, they would need to shut off the mass airflow sensor, which they do not. Okay, and you don't want to, because a mass airflow sensor is basically constantly reading, which means situational changes. It changes the airflow, changes the fuel, changes everything to the motor. Okay. With that being said, sorry, it's been a long day. With that being said, I've seen every tune out there. Okay, nobody is making changes to those tables at all. At all. I'm literally the only person I've ever seen making changes to those tables, okay? So keep that in mind. When you see people say crap like that, like, oh, we have a speed density table, and that's why our trucks, why we don't need to use the smoke sensor. Well, the smoke sensor is an oxygen sensor. It does a lot more than control the smoke, okay? So just keep that stuff in mind. I know that it sounds like I'm speaking in Egyptian or some other crazy language that people don't understand. So with that being said, everything that I say, you can look up by itself, read about it, and understand it. Just make sure that you read about it in diesels, because gasoline engines use a lot of the same systems, but they don't do anywhere near the exact same thing, because diesel fuel and gasoline fuel are completely different in how they combust. Diesel fuel is a weird gray area, because diesel fuel does not combust. Diesel fuel detonates, which creates a knocking sound, which is why diesels are knocking. Knock, knock, knock. That's how a diesel makes noise. That's how a diesel combusts, through detonation, okay? But it's not the same type of detonation that you get in a gasoline engine. So there's a lot of variables in terms that are all the same that don't do anywhere near the same thing, okay? If anyone has any questions about diesel engines, diesel tuning, gasoline engines, gasoline tuning, please feel free to comment, feel free to ask, and I will try to explain the best I can, or make a complete video explaining exactly what you're asking.